Good morning, everybody. I hope this video finds you well. Okay, I am going to formally kick off a new video series, and it's going to be practical advice on what to do because the world has changed. Eras don't change often, but when they do, they're catastrophic. Usually eras change in 20-year cycles, and they're part of a bigger change that happens in 100-year cycles, that are a part of a bigger change, an even bigger change that happen in a 500-year cycles, then 1,000-year cycles. We're in a 1,000-year plus cycle, and this era is changing right now as we speak. I'm going to talk pretty much in the series about practical advice on what to do, tie it all together with the reality that we're in, because it's not enough just to know how to survive on day to day, but you have to see the bigger picture and how the quantum effects manifest as part of it. All in all, it should be a good, helpful series for you all. And so we're going to begin, and the first thing I want to cover is something very important: the previous era. The previous era, if you're an American, was from around 1970 to 2025. So you're at the start of this new cycle. History books in about 50 years will write about it, but I'm going to be the first one who's actually talking about it. And it doesn't matter where you're at. You could be in Brazil, don't have to be in America. You can be in China. It's the same thing. From 1970 to 2025 is an era, and it has ended. The era of that period of time, I have yet to figure out an official name for it, but for now we'll call it the disposable era. The convenience and disposable era. In the 1960s, families in the United States, I'm going to use the United States primarily, but families in the United States were a single wage earner working a job, supporting a family, and they ate well. The wife handled domestic activities, the man brought in a steady income. That's what people today in the West don't understand. A steady income can rise or fall, but it's an income that comes in. You know, every week there's going to be some money. The man is going to put some money on the table. Guys with problems may put only a little bit. But there's always going to be money on the table for the family. That was replaced in the 1970s, where debt and credit became easy, and everything became convenience. The rise of fast food, cheap gasoline, inexpensive appliances, everything became disposable. And during this era of everything becoming disposable, you had lifestyle changes. Things became fast. You no longer sat at a table and ate with your family. You grabbed a bite on your way from point A to point B. Movie durations got shorter. And then they got longer, but I'm not going to talk about these epics. Things became a faster pace, and with that came computers that made things even faster. So instead of typing up a memo, sending it to the secretary pool and getting it back in 3 days, You now do it within a minute or so and press send. Things became much faster. I will argue that during this previous era, that our lifestyles reflected that. You bought a car to take you from A to B. You spent your time doing this and that and this and that, but you didn't spend time with family. You didn't spend time so much sitting on a porch and relaxing every night. You sat in front of a computer. You sat in front of a television. You did various activities, but they weren't family or community oriented. And what you did eat, whether you ate it at home or if you went through to a restaurant, was always fast and convenient. It was all pre-prepared food. Today, people still cling on to that era, not realizing that era is over. It's true. Stovetop stuffing or hamburger helper, just a box with some noodles, some ingredients, and you add ground beef and you stir it together and you get an instant hot meal. You would get some frozen pizza and you get some extra cheese and you put that on. Today's food is designed for fast, easy convenience, not for health. And that, people, is a problem, because entering this era, if you cling on to the ways of the previous era, you will find yourself broke, unemployed, unhappy, sick, and in serious, dire trouble. You must not behave in a customary way that was associated with the previous era. You have to adapt to a new era. And that's what this series is going to be about. It's very important. So, this era, and I haven't decided on a name for it, but I kind of like disposable consumerism. During this period of time, you will need to alter your behaviors. And I have written versions that will go on the MM blog, say around December of this year, and continuing into March and April of 2027. So yeah, you guys get the heads up. Because you're paying for it. You're contributing. It doesn't mean that the people who don't pay for it don't deserve it. It just means that I prioritize people who find value in what I do and what I'm presenting. For those of you who don't know, this is all pre-planned. It's manufactured into the human society. And this new era is going to be characterized by a return to basics, an absolute turn upside down of many of these belief systems that existed during the previous era, and also, dare I say it, implementation and merging of AI-based systems. Now, if you go on the internet, you're going to see all kinds of videos where people are talking about living in their car, talking how they can't afford anything, and talking about how they got a cost of living increase of 2%. Since last year, the price of bread has gone up like quadruple, and you get a 2% increase? People, come on. And this cost of bread, where do you buy it from? You buy it from a factory that makes it and pumps it full of preservatives. It's not bread. So, this series is going to focus on your new life. And your new life, if you follow my advice, will be healthier. You will have much more disposable income, and a turning away from some of the herd mentality that's going to start manifesting if they haven't already manifested. Now let's talk about the quantum aspects. The quantum is like anything else. We're all connected in quantum physics. We're all connected, and these connections, you can think of them as sand or seas, and they have tides. And when an era comes and goes, so does the movement of quanta. It comes and goes. You can't stop it if you wanted to. It's just the reality. So the underlying currents, the tides, are here whether you like them or not. And the way to success is, of course, to flow with them. Flow with the tides and you will be fine. Flow against the tides and you will be hurt. And what characterizes this era is almost a diametric opposite of the previous era. Instead of spending for convenience, you come into savings for necessity. And all the subhuman behaviors will follow that model. You're going to see a lot of conventional social re-engineering efforts that occurred throughout the previous era to be ignored or discarded during this era. It's an important thing to pay attention to, and it will affect everything. I, of course, remain optimistic, but it's only because I see a bigger picture. In the short term, it's going to be not so comfortable. If any of you are following what I have to say, and have been following what I have to say, you should be doing well right now. And so, keep in contact with your quantum side. You have to do your affirmations. Affirmation campaigns. 4 months off, 3 months on, you read your affirmations religiously. Some of you like to just do it nonstop without a break. That's cool. I find that the break helps me a lot. You have to take care of your health. I mentioned this repeatedly, and I'm going to underscore it one more time. You don't have to become a bodybuilder. You don't have to become a marathon runner. You just need to become active, and that could mean walking. Just walking. Try walking down to the store once a day. Try walking in a park once a day. And as you walk, try exploring off that branch so that you have a good walk in. The key is to be active. If you like golf, play golf and play it more often. If you like whatever you may like, but the key is to be active. I'm a big believer in also socialization. So socialization is very, very important. So become a member of your community, join a local club, whether it's flowers, whether it's cooking, whether it's just a coffee club, whatever it is. And if there isn't one nearby, God damn it, make one. Go to a coffee house and say, look, I want to set up a coffee club. We will meet here every Thursday evening. And get their permission. Okay? And the result is all the people who are in the club will end up buying coffee. Win for everybody. Okay? Think about this, okay? Socialization, exercise, affirmations. Now, those are the basics. It establishes a healthy mind, a healthy body, and a healthy social activities from which all these other things we're going to be talking about can be built upon. Every subsequent video, it's going to be one-on-one, we're going to talk about changing from having an expensive car to some other cheaper mode of transportation. We're going to talk about going from buying white bread from the store to automatically making your own every single day. We're going to talk about from buying frozen goods to having your own garden. We're going to be talking about getting protein from Burger King to getting protein from beans, lentils, your local butcher, from fish. We're going to talk about from getting electricity locally and cutting down your consumption. All these things are very, very important, very, very necessary. And no, I'm not advocating a prepper lifestyle. No, I'm not advocating living off the grid lifestyle. I'm advocating something completely different. I'm advocating adaptivity as the era changes from the old era of convenience and consumerism to the new era of frugal behaviors and modest activities. And this has been my introduction to the new series. Please tell me in the comments what you think. If you want it or you don't want it, you just tell me. I'm telling you guys, this time in 2027, if you're not ready, you will be hurting. It's not you might be. You will. This is time that you guys need to start paying attention to what you need to do right now. And with that, people, I want you to take care. Know that I believe in you.